Hey everyone and welcome to the channel. Today I'll be reviewing another Bishoujo figure, and this is the Decepticon leader Megatron from the series Transformers. Now if you haven't seen my Optimus review of the Bishoujo line, I highly recommend you do, just to get familiar with what this is all about. But basically Kotobukiya, who do the Bishoujo figures, have got a long-standing relationship with the artist Shinya Yamashita, who reimagines characters in his art style, and right now he's sort of on a bit of a rampage doing a lot of game characters as well as horror characters, and Transformers is the latest IP that they're tackling, and they're basically reimagining these giant robots as cute anime girls. So today we'll be looking at Megatron. So first up we'll look at the box. So as you can see, it's the sort of standard Bishoujo figurine sort of thing. There's a window into the box, all the basic branding. There's the Transformers logo up there, as well as Takara Tomy. And some elements of the box are designed like the old toys, which is like this grid-based sort of 80s style system that they've got going on, as well as the font and colouring. Now on the other side there's Shinya Yamashita's art. On the back is promo images of the figure, as well as a preview or tease of the previous figure in the line, which was Optimus. And then on this side is the full art of the character designed by Shinya Yamashita, as well as the original design of Megatron. So nothing too crazy, and might as well just dive right in and open up the figure. Now, after some very minor assembly, here is Bishoujo Megatron. Now, the only things you need to put together is the fusion cannon on the arm, which is, I'm talking about it like it's the original Megatron. It's the fusion cannon that she's holding. It's just the front and back of the cannon need to be assembled. It's very simple. But everything else comes as one piece. And on first impressions, this is a pretty damn amazing looking figure. Now, from my understanding from all the preview images and things like that that I saw, it isn't as chock full of references as the Optimus one is, but it's still a really cool reimagining of the character, and I think it grabs the attitude of Megatron quite well, whereas the previous Optimus was sort of just like a cute, spunky sort of girl, whereas Optimus is like a more solemn sort of leader, whereas this one has got a lot of like step on me energy, and has an attitude that just sort of fits Megatron a bit more. But we'll start off by looking at the sculpt and taking a closer look at the figure. So first off, the haircut and face design are really, really good. I like the little military hat up there. It's almost like a boss lady military design, which I quite like. All of that is nice sculpted in detail. The cannon is pretty much one-to-one with the original toy and design of Megatron. The only new thing is the actual like trigger to make it holdable cannon, which is interesting. Further down, she's just got a collar and nothing connecting that to her top, which is kind of weird but also kind of cool. I like it. There's a lot of skin showing, which looks nice. Her top itself is quite nice. I don't know how it's appearing on camera, but this is all sort of like a very pale purple, which is interesting because Megatron typically has a lot of greys, but I guess that they chose this because the grey would be a little bit too much for this figure, because if they did do it, it'd be majority grey, and that might not look that great. The Decepticon logo is on her tie, which looks nice. There are these little belt button things that are different colours, which look good as well. It's a nice sculpt in the mini skirt, looks great. Legs look good, some beautifully sculpted legs, and the boots / stockings look really good, and the shoes are simple but nice. But the main draw is her coat, which has got a beautiful flow to it. She's just wearing it over her shoulders, so there's a lot of dynamic motion, and you can see it folding at the back, looking great. Some little like shoulder tassels up there, which lends more to the military design, and just looks nice all around, and some more shots of the cannon that are much cleaner. And it looks pretty much one-to-one with the Masterpiece figure, which is very, very cool. and some more nice sculpted detail. And of course the raised Decepticon base, which also looks really, really good. So sculpt-wise, simple but effective and very striking. It actually works better that it's not as busy as Optimus's design, and very limited color palette, which helps to add to the design as well. In terms of paint and color, everything looks quite good. I didn't mention it in my Optimus review because I didn't notice it before, but there is a paint error on the goggles. I only noticed it when I did like a high angle shot on it. Otherwise, I didn't notice it. It was on like the chrome part of the, well, not the chrome, the metallic silver part of the goggles. Not a deal breaker, but it was a little bit annoying that there was a paint error on a high-end figure. Anyway, back to Megatron. The hair is shaded. It's like a white or off-white and goes into like that sort of purplish grey, which looks nice. I like the two tones in her collar. Even the tie is shaded. This sort of pearlescent purpley color on the chest is nice. The colored in buttons look a bit odd at first, but there's a reason for it. The shading on the skirt is lovely. The shading on the leggings is also great, and the shiny shoes look good, as well as the purple on the base. And that metallic pearlescent purpley grey is all around the coat and looks fantastic. Looks especially good on the back and in all of these folds. Even her gloves have got a little bit of shading, and it's just nice. The cannon is beautifully painted. It's actually shaded as well, and it just looks amazing in the light. And yeah, it's just so well done. There's not as much to talk about as there was with the Optimus, but I will be going through a similar thing that I did with that one, where I'm just evaluating the figure as it is initially, and then bringing in a special guest for better comparison. So as it stands, very good figure, not as elaborate as the Optimus, but that is not a bad thing at all. It works better for Megatron in this case. And I guess we'll bring in a little bit of a comparison. So this is Bishoujo Megatron, and next to her we have actual Megatron, which is MP36. So this is Masterpiece Megatron, the official Takara product, and he looks damn good. And this is a fully transformable figure. He can turn into his original iconic G1 gun, but for the purposes of this review, we're only going to keep him in the robot mode and have a direct comparison between him and the Bishoujo. And so they've both got their stern expressions. Unlike the Optimus, Megatron does not have a swappable face. This Megatron does have tons of swappable faces, but that's a different thing altogether. But it's good that they've got two stern expressions. In terms of accuracy to the character, I like the choice of the haircut because it almost imitates this sort of crown that holds the actual face of Megatron. I like that. The eyes are red in both of them, which is nice. I like that. The Decepticon logo was kept on the chest, which is cool too. A lot of design liberties were taken with the outfit because the coat doesn't really fit anything, as well as the top, but they did separate the colors, whereas the majority of the top is this sort of grey and the bottom is black and then followed by grey again. Similar thing here, except it was like a purpley pearlescent here though, but top grey, black, grey works quite well. The fusion cannon for that Bishoujo looks good, but the Masterpiece toy is pretty much identical, and it even has a very similar finish on it, which is very, very cool. And they're pretty much the exact same size too, which is also kind of cool. Let's see if I can take it off. Yeah, they're pretty much exactly the same size, which is so cool. That's a nice little additional reference, which means that these are in scale with each other, technically. But in terms of other references, there aren't that many more, but just down here in Megatron's chest, you can see there's red, blue, and yellow sort of buttons, and that carries over to Bishoujo. There's the big yellow belt, there's a little red button there, and two blue ones here, which roughly measures up with Megatron. You can see in the coat trying to imitate the arm structure of Megatron. There's these red pockets here, and Megatron's arm segments into red partway through. So it's roughly imitating him, but not really. Same as how the hands are black, the end of the coat tail is black as well, but so are her gloves. So it's all little references, but nothing as major as the Optimus Prime references. But yeah, I don't really know what else. I mean, the underneath of the jacket is red, looks really good. It's also shaded. Maybe it's a reference to the inside parts of Megatron's body here, but you know, I can't really tell. Like I said, there aren't as many references, but I think that's in service of a much simpler figure, but a much more elegant figure. So that's pretty much it. It is just how you see it. In terms of comparison to the Bishoujo Optimus, now with the Bishoujo Optimus by her side, you can see both of these fit together perfectly and they look fantastic. If you didn't pay close attention, you might not even realize that they're Transformers figures, which is one of the coolest things about this Kotobukiya line. I love the different personalities that you get from them. I like that there's a paler skin tone on Megatron compared to Optimus. It just adds to the sort of good versus evil aesthetic just a tiny bit. And it's just very, very cool. I really like what Kotobukiya are doing with these, even though it is silly, but it's also cool. The Bumblebee, while it's not my favourite design out of the bunch, looks like it is jam-packed with references as well. I don't own a Bumblebee figure, so we'll see if we can do a comparison with that when the time comes. But regardless, this is another fantastic figure in the line. Bishoujo just does not miss these days. And yeah, just another great addition, another great figure, another good review. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you all next time.